Before we build our timeline, including the audio, let's take a look at some of the skills that we're going to need to adjust the audio. And so what I'll do here is just create another sequence that we can use for some practice. Let's call this audio practice. And so you will want to do this too, just to get some experience. We're going to adjust the volume and also learn how to use the razor tool to cut the audio. So let's see, let's go ahead and I'll grab the birds. Here's that yard audio right there. Get our volume up a bit. Alright, so when you see a profile like this, this indicates a lot more volume than a profile that looks like this, or our sound wave. You might also notice that we only have a left track here. There is no right on here. It was recorded with a mono microphone, and we're going to fix that while it's on the timeline too. So you learned how to cut video, and I believe some audio in some previous video lessons back when we did that lava beds video. So in this particular one here, I might just want to grab, in fact I think I did for that video, is just grab this audio here that's pretty consistent in volume. It's not too loud. This here has got, let's see what's going on here. Oh, that sounds like me moving microphones around, so that's a lot of junk that we don't want. And then here we have just the straight yard noise. So I would set that in point like that, and then drag it to where I want my out point, like so. And then I will grab just the audio, and I could drag that down onto one of my audio tracks, and I think in our movie we're going to put that on track 2. Now while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and take note that we have these 3 tracks of audio, and I think we're actually going to need 5. So here's how you add audio tracks. While pointing to the audio tracks, right click, and we have an add tracks option, and there's our add tracks window, so we can add video tracks, add audio tracks. Now we don't need any more video tracks, so I'm going to make that 0. And then I want to have at least 2 more audio tracks. And I think in this program you add up to 99. You can put a bunch. We'll never get there. We just need 2 more. And then click OK. And so now you can see that we've added some additional audio tracks. I'm going to go ahead and increase my timeline space here. And that's by grabbing this border area right there, and so you can adjust your window. And then of course you can expand your audio track, so you can see that bird audio right there on your audio track. Now take note, as I mentioned, it's only a left track here, and we may or may not be okay with that, but it's good to know that we can go ahead and we can simulate a stereo, an additional track. It sounds like we have stereo. And so the way to do that is to come over to your effects, audio effects, and look for fill left. Once again, that was audio effects. There's a lot of audio tools to work with. We're looking for fill left. Take that and drag it onto that audio clip. And now when we play it, there we are. So we've essentially duplicated the left track, but it'll come out of both speakers now. Next, let's take a look at how we can grab just a particular element of this audio track. Right here, we've got some little bird noises here that we can put exactly where we want on our timeline. Let's see what this is. Well, there's a nice little bird right there, isn't there? So I'm going to grab him there. And let's see. By the way, also notice, just like on the timeline, the plus and minus keys will zoom in so we can really isolate that particular sound, in this case the bird that we are interested in. And I'm going to have him fade about right there. Set that out point. And then we can take and put that bird anywhere we want within our storyline. Let's just throw him right there. So now when we play it, there he is. Now you notice that sounds a little bit abrupt there. I mean, you can tell when that bird comes in. So the way you would deal with that is to zoom in on that timeline. And this is where we could use some transitions that could help out. First of all, is that we want to lower the volume of that bird. So step number one, click on our little bird clip, right click, and we're going to do this by adjusting the gain. It's a very quick and easy way to adjust some volume. There's other ways to do it, but we're just going to do this real quickly. Click on that audio gain, and let's lower it by 5, minus 5 dBs. Click OK. That sounds a little better. And then the next thing we are going to do is put in a nice transition so it just sounds a little smoother. So we can get out of our audio effects, go to audio transitions. Crossfades, we'll use a constant power and we'll put that on the front of that. Don't need it quite that long. Oops. Shorten that a little bit. Zoom in a little bit more. So there's one on the entry point and then on the exit. And so now we'll play it again. And that sounds much more natural. So practice doing that. See if you can isolate some of these other elements. There's some nice little bird sounds in here. Right there's another nice one. Once again, grab the sound, isolate it, drag it to your desired location, right click, adjust the gain. And we're going to adjust, we're actually adjusting the decibels, units of volume. Put in a minus 5. Now that minus 5, that's a trial and error. If it's not enough, then you'll decrease it by more. If it's too low, then you just put in positive numbers to increase the volume. All right, we'll listen to that. And so for this one, I'm going to put that even lower. We don't need to have that quite, so I'm going to do another 5 on that. And then go in and put those transitions on the entry and exit, and there you go. And so it's fun to put those audio events at particular locations in your video. Audio is just a lot of fun. It might be one of my favorite points or areas of video editing, is when you can start bringing all that audio together and really adds life to your movie. Let's see, what else do we need to cover here? Oh, using the razor tool. Let's take a look at that. If I have this particular clip on the timeline, let's say here, let me zoom out. Let's say I've used this. There we go. So here I am on this timeline, and we've got the birds. And right there, there's a point where it's just a lot louder, and it's also a lot louder right there. So in a case like that, while we're on the timeline, we could use the razor tool so that we can adjust individual segments of this audio clip. And you can also use this tool for video. So it's right here. It looks like a razor blade. Shortcut letter C. And then you'll see there's the razor blade. So it's really good to zoom in when you're going to do this so you can get this about where you want it. So I'm going to go in and make a cut right where it starts to get loud, on the entry point of that, and then on the exit. And so now, I'll go back to my selection tool. And so now you see that we have a separate piece of audio there, but it's still within that timeline. And so then what you can do is go in and just adjust the audio gain on just that section. And so let's put that in at a -5. In fact, let's do this. Here's without the audio gain adjustment. It's a lot different than the rest of the clip, so I'm going to go in and try to just normalize that a little bit. -5 and see. And maybe even a little bit more. Another -5. And let's play it again. And then to smooth it out, because you can hear that abrupt change. In fact, it sounds like almost sounds like a microphone bump there. I won't worry about that right now. But I can go in there and I can put in a little transition. Zoom in again. Put in that constant power. Try to smooth out the transition between those two volumes. Let's listen to that. Now I can tell I need to spend more time with that, but let's see how the entrance or the exit sounds. That sounds pretty good. You could also increase the duration of that, and that might help too. Take it up to about 2 seconds. That's better. So we're just trying to spread out that change in volume. Get a nice blend. So I think that's about it as far as the tools that you will need in order to continue adding audio to your video. So good luck with that. Have some fun, and as always, ask questions. I'll be coming around to see how you're doing. It's a bit challenging, so just practice, make mistakes, and have some fun with it.